And welcome back to Facebook Live and to the celebration of Harry Chapin's 75th birthday. And we are celebrating his birthday because we know Harry's here in spirit. And so we want to make sure he feels all that warmth and love that's coming out through all these great posts that we're getting through Facebook and all the discussions we're having today throughout the day. And this next interview is probably one of the more special ones we are going to be having because it so touches one of Harry's most special songs, Mr. Tanner. And I welcome Mr. Tubridy to our broadcast here and would like to welcome you. Thanks so much for spending so much time with us.
Not at all, Bill.
So, Martin, tell us a little bit about the last year or year and a half or so when all of a sudden all these kind of crazy Chapin fans came out and actually heard about the guy who inspired this song.
You know, Bill, I think the prelude to all of this is the fact that so many years ago I was getting a little bit of the notices of what was in reality already done. I knew nothing about it until probably about 2005 or 2006. And I kept on, basically rejecting, no, it's not me, it's not me. It's kind of like, something that was just, I'm not from Dayton, Ohio, and I'm not a cleaner, whatever. So all of a sudden, for all of that to change within the past year, where people actually knew that I was part of that song or a little bit of the stimulus for it, was kind of amazing. I mean, it's really very special at the concert that was held last year in Connecticut. The people were just unbelievably beautiful and supportive. And it was just an awakening of what beautiful fans Harry Chapin had. And I think also the family that existed between Harry, the band, and all of the people that just absolutely loved his music and were part of that family.
Well, like you mentioned, yes, you're not a cleaner from Dayton, Ohio. Tell us a little bit about yourself and particularly going back to that time when that review came out in the paper.
It basically was devastating. Yes. It was really difficult to absorb, and it's kind of like you do the performances, and in terms of as you probably know, many times there's no critic in the audience, and you don't get reviewed. And I'd say probably that happens with 80% of the performances, or 80 to 85%. So in some regards, I was fortunate that there was somebody there, but on the other hand,
right,
it was not exactly what I was looking forward to. So I basically, had a lot of misgivings about all of that. But the most important thing is I really loved the music and loved the songs that I was performing. And Bill, that's probably the most important thing about it. It was like, really keeping going with singing, really keeping going with doing what I was doing, perhaps ultimately in a different way. I did a couple of more recitals at different venues, but ultimately also leaned more towards show business music, like my wife and I met doing a play called Guys and Dolls. So,
oh yeah,
things like that we were doing, and also music in church, and recitals and performances that we do locally here in Connecticut.
So, in many ways, do you feel the song sort of captured, even though he really didn't know at the time he wrote it, but did it really kind of capture the sense of, in one hand, discouragement, but at the same time, understanding that this is about music. It's about me. It's in me, my soul. And it, maybe somebody has some harsh words a little bit, but that it's really about the music.
Bill, in so many ways, it's almost right on target. I have looked through the words of the song, and it's really inspirational. I think it's an incredible song. It's almost like a tone poem, in terms of he put it all together in a beautiful way. The rhyming techniques are also very, very interesting. But yeah, it really hit home in terms of who it, for me, when I found out about all of this, there was so much truth to it. I mean, basically, you still want to perform, you still want to sing, you still want to give in terms of that's a part of yourself, and such an important part of yourself. And it's like the creative part of you. Yes, we do jobs. Yes, we do all the things that help us to make a living. But we also have, probably for each one of us, something else in our lives that really makes it all special and makes it keep us going. And in so many ways, music was that. And I think he captured that towards the end of the song. It just made him whole.
Right.
That's really what is good for me, for you, for anyone to be whatever they're doing, whatever they love, to kind of feel that it really makes me whole. It really gives me a sense of my soul.
Well, for anyone who hasn't heard Martin sing, there is a video up on YouTube where you can hear him play the part of Mr. Tanner in that concert that he mentioned. And you have just a wonderful voice, and it's just incredible because I think you played the part so well and so elegantly, and I just love hearing that. I've played it many, many times.
Oh, thank you very much, Bill.
So I think we have a call and maybe a question for you. Yeah, do we have someone on the line? Hello?
Hello?
Hi, who's this? Go ahead.
Am I on?
You're on.
Oh, okay. I wanted to tell my story about Harry Chapin in 1973. I had a little problem with drugs, and I was pronounced DOA at Coney Island Hospital. Woke up for a little while, went into a 3-day coma. Woke up and stayed alive. I left New York to get away from drugs and start a new life in Denver. My brother worked backstage at Brooklyn College. The night I left New York, Harry gave a benefit at Brooklyn College, and my brother met him and told him about me and how I was all messed up and leaving New York to start a new life in Colorado. And he wrote me a little note saying, "Dear Norman, keep on hanging in there. I've had too many ups and downs. I feel like a yo-yo. Pretty soon you'll be back kicking ass soon. Harry Chapin. P.S. Keep the change." I moved to Denver. I couldn't get a job. I sold encyclopedias door to door, and I did very, very well because I worked for Macmillan Publishing Company. And I went to see Harry in concert in Denver, and after the concert, I was on my way out, and I saw him signing autographs. So I went up to him. I went online, and I got to him, and I showed him the note he gave my brother to give to me, and he couldn't remember writing it. But I told him that I'm selling education, and there's a story behind it if you took the time to listen. So he gave me his home address, and he told me to write to him. I wrote to him, and he wrote me back a handwritten letter saying, "Dear Norman, I can't just sit down and write a song about your life, but don't be surprised if bits and pieces of your life come up in my next material." Wow. And that was just before he wrote the song "Flowers Are Red."
Wow.
Which is about education.
So you happen to be on the phone right now, or on the air right now, with also Martin Tubridy, who's really the inspiration behind Mr. Tanner, if you recall that song. So it's interesting how these stories kind of have weaved. So thanks. Yeah. That's a great story. Thanks so much for calling. Hey, Martin. It sounds like you're not the only one that's kind of heard visions or pieces of their story in some of the Harry songs. 1 second, Martin. I think we're having a little audio trouble here. There you go, Martin. I think we can hear you now.
Okay. One of the other things that I was really touched by, and it really relates to the whole thing, Bill, is that Harry, I guess, had in his background a portfolio of also reviews that weren't exactly spectacular. And he just, kind of threw those aside and kept on going and going and going. And it was just, when I found out about that, it really brought a flowering of the whole thing about Mr. Tanner and how he put that all together. And it really is very, very strong in terms of the whole essence of it, and really how strong a person he really was,
That's really a good point, because yes, he definitely had his share of bad reviews out there, but it never stopped him on there. Well, tell us a little bit about what you're doing now. I can look from the background. It looks like you got a couple pianos in there. Obviously, you're still very much involved in the music world.
Bill, actually, timing is great. We're doing a concert tomorrow, the December 8th at Westport Town Hall. It's Christmas concert. So Westport, Connecticut. And it's basically something which my wife is basically the music director, and put a group together called Arts for the Community. And if anybody wants to get any information on that, they can go to the website, Arts for the Community. But still very much singing and very much doing performances and doing a lot of videos and also spoken word, but also in song. So very much still doing a lot of different things in music and very much enjoying it.
That's beautiful. So after all of this, and as we're wrapping up here, do you have any kind of final takeaway or lesson learned through this whole experience that you've kind of came away with here in the last year?
Well, Bill, I think the nice thing is I've met so many beautiful people, and that's been an honor for me. And also beautiful fans from Harry. And it's just a really uplifting experience for me. And I think the most important thing is that you really see the importance of a bigger picture and how important life is and how important it is for each one of us to do something really special and keep on going.
Wow, you said it so well. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Really appreciate all your time today. And we're gonna wrap it up right now. But we want to also mention for the folks that are listening out there that we have a great pledge going on right now, that if you do participate and go to our site of betterplacetobe.org, you'll see lots of different packages and memorabilia that you can purchase. And all the funds that every dollar you put forth is being matched right now up to $5,000. Actually, a little bit of news, we actually had somebody else come in and add another $1,000. So it's actually a $6,000 match right now. So you could double your money. So one of the really special items out there that you might kind of look at is when you go to betterplacetobe.org, you'll see the little button there to go to the gifts area. You'll see the gift packs, the rare collectible gifts, and also some of the real special things like the Gold Medal Collection Platinum albums, the Greatest Stories Live CD that also was Platinum, and other things that are up there. So take a look. There's some really cool things, even just simply if you want to donate to the foundation and continue all its great work that's going out there to support grassroots groups. It would be surely appreciated. So we'll wrap it up for now, and we're going to get set for another interview coming up. But again, thank you, Martin. We really, really appreciate all your time and your great story.
You're quite welcome, Bill. Thank you.
Thank you.